A very good evening to you. It's a honor you joining me tonight on another episode of your award-winning program, Questions and Air. Thanks for being part of this show last week, and to everyone who got in touch during the week. Well, you're the reason why we're here. Vincent from the Art of Italy, I got your message. I'm going to post your gift across to you as promised. Don't worry, you get your gift from us as promised. And tonight, well, it's a special gift I've got. We're looking at legal matters tonight, and we are especially concentrating on immigration issues. And trust me, I've got a very able hand with me, live with us on Questions that I had tonight, who will ride with us on this issue of immigration. And you know what? For my first three callers who's got immigration issues, or who is wanting to, get one information or the other about immigration matters, you've got free consultation with this able gentleman in the house with us tonight. He's is a very able hand, like I said. He's been here in the country for so long. He's dealt with so many cases. He's someone you just want to meet and have a chat with. He's gentle. He's make you can be comfortable talking to him, because at times you want to be able to talk to someone who is able to listen to you. I can assure you he's able to. So for my first three callers tonight, you get free consultation with my immigration lawyer, who is a guest on Questions that I had tonight. You want to know who he is? You will get to meet him after the break. But before we go, don't forget, for those who are not on Sky, we're live on www.faithworldtv.com. Your friends and family members across the globe can join us on tonight's episode of Questions in the Heart. And when we start our chat, you can send me your text messages if you have questions. And when we open our phone lines, you're free to call in and ask your questions tonight. Don't forget, my first three callers will have free consultation with my immigration lawyer in the house. Tonight, I'll go on a short break, and when I return, we'll kick the ball rolling on immigration matters. Don't forget the website to go to leave me your name and your contact details after calling it tonight for your free consultation is www.questionsintheheart.tv, www.questionsintheheart.tv. Just go there, leave me with your information, and we'll get in touch with you. And like I told you last week, our website is going through a serious rebranding, and we've got spaces for adverts. You want us to advertise for you on our website, please get in touch. You want us to advertise for you on the live show as well, let's help you take your business to the next level. We're here to serve you and to ensure we'll serve you better. I'm gonna shop it, and when I return, I'm so excited to have a chat with this gentleman tonight. We'll be talking to us about immigration matters. Don't touch the dial.
We are here only because of you. If Questions in the Heart have been a blessing, we would ask of you to please sow towards our ministry so we can keep doing what we do. Please support us. Our website address is www.questionsintheheart.com. Please click on the PayPal link. Telephone 0788-120-7952. As you give towards this work, we can reach more and liberate more. God bless you.
Thanks for staying with us. Don't forget, our website is www.questionsinthehart.tv for people who wants to get in touch with us and leave us with messages. Well, backstage, he was teaching me how to pronounce his first name or last name, but not last name. And trust me, I'm not sure if I can actually pronounce that name tonight. It's my honor to bring your way immigration lawyer, Mr. Daniel. Good evening, Mr. Daniel.
Good evening, Esther.
I wouldn't want to offend you by pronouncing your surname wrongly.
Okay.
Now, please, how do I pronounce your surname?
My surname is Metibemu.
Metibemu.
Yes.
That's Mr. Daniel Metibemu. Metibemu, are you Igbo?
I'm a Yoruba.
Is Yoruba. Where are you from?
I'm from Ondo State.
From Ondo State. Yeah. Well, Ondo people are, you know, very, very serious when it comes to academics. It's an honor having you on Questions in the Heart.
It's a privilege. Thank you very much.
A very senior colleague of mine, you are. And tonight I'm willing to learn.
That's all right.
I spoke with you on phone yesterday and I said, well, I am still a law student. You are here. You don't want me to mention, but I know.
We're all still learning.
Still learning, yeah. But a higher level than mine. A honor having you on Questions in the Heart again.
Thank you very much.
You want to tell our viewers who Mr. Metibemu is?
My name is Daniel
Metibemu, yeah.
An immigration lawyer with RIMA Solutions here in London.
Okay.
What we do is we specialize in business and individual immigration matters. Okay. Talking about business immigration matters, what we do is this. We assist companies from abroad who intend to set up their companies here in the UK.
In the UK?
Yeah, we assist them with setting up their business in the UK. We assist them with their recruitment, getting their staff from abroad down to the UK to work. And also part of the business visas we do, we assist them expatriates going to Nigeria to work with telecommunication, oil and gas industries, for expatriates going to Angola, China, even to US to work. We deal with visas of such. And also in terms of individual immigration issues, for UK, we do loads of application in terms of human rights application, all the point-based applications. Those are the things we deal with.
Wow, how long have you been practicing?
Close to 6 years now.
Close to 6 years?
Yes, in the UK, yes.
Wow, and you've got proofs of testimonies of cases?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because the joy of a lawyer is that you're able to fight the cause of your clients and you come out of the court smiling.
Absolutely.
Okay, so my fans are in safe hands tonight?
Yes, they are.
Okay,
by His grace.
Okay, by His grace.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, tonight we'll be looking at immigration law.
Yep.
That's what we're dealing with tonight.
Yep.
To start with, is it a crime for someone to have immigration issues?
It's not a
because
crime.
It's like there's this serious stigma attached to people going through, you know, immigration matters.
Yeah.
Is it a crime?
It's not a crime. Human beings are bound to migrate.
Isn't it?
Yes. And in the course of migration, you will encounter challenges.
Isn't it?
Until you get to your destination. So it's not a new thing for someone to have an immigration issue. But you shouldn't let that immigration issue weigh you down.
Interesting.
It's a normal thing. So it's not a crime. So whoever is going through an immigration issue at the moment shouldn't go with that stigma. It's a normal thing.
Just see it as a normal thing, part of life.
Which
can happen to anybody.
Exactly, which can be overcomable. So it's a normal thing.
It's a normal thing.
Yeah.
It is a normal thing
Yes.
to go through immigration issues.
Yeah.
There is nothing strange about it. And like I said, do not let that weigh you down. You can overcome.
Absolutely.
You can win. You can cross to the other side with the help of people like Mr. Daniel.
Yes.
And I'm joining the team soon.
That's all right.
Yeah, let's kick the ball rolling tonight. One of the major things that recently happened in the UK immigration is the Immigration Act 2014.
Yes.
Could you please highlight various elements of this act?
For Immigration Act 2014, it's actually a major shift in the UK immigration history. It has never happened before, Esther. Okay, one of the key things that happened is the removal of appeal rights for people. Yeah, for people that get their visas being refused. Prior to October 2014, a student will normally have a right of appeal when their visas have been refused. But now you only stick to administrative review. And the second stage of this reshuffling, let me put it that way, came into force in March 2nd this year, 2015, which removed appeal rights for other applicants like tier 2, tier 5, and even tier 1.
Wow.
Yes, so there's no appeal right for them anymore. What they have is administrative review. Then the last part of the appeal removal came into force on April 6th, which is actually applicable to all other applications in terms of human rights application, Appendix FM application. What they have now is a very, very limited appeal rights.
Very limited appeal rights?
Yes. So the only option now is administrative review. Okay, that is for appeals. Then in terms of having access to NHS now, for every applicant making an application in the UK now, you need to contribute towards the NHS. For a student now, you'll have to be paying £150 per year. Okay, for instance, now if you're gonna, if your visa is gonna be if you're gonna be issued a visa that's gonna last for a 4 years period, you will have to pay £150 for each year. Okay, for other category of visa, you'll have to pay £200 per year. For example, now a tier 2 student which will be issued a 3 years visa, will have to pay £600. That will be paid before the application is being made, and they have to pay the same fee for their dependents. So for a tier 2 holder with one dependent now, they will have to pay £1,200.
And if he's got a family,
exactly,
that 2, 3,
that will be added to it, unfortunately. This is excluding the Home Office application fee. Yes. Another thing that has happened with the Immigration Act is the revocation of driver's license now. So if the DVLA, if they notice that your visa has expired and you do not have a proof of visa, your driver's license, you can't drive, will be revoked. And another thing, this has actually started in West Midlands now, has to do with having access to residential tenancy. Every landlord now must carry out an immigration check before they issue a tenancy to an occupant. Else they will be liable to £3,000 penalty. Yes. Yes, and also removal of illegal immigrants or overstayers now. It's so easy for the Home Office in the sense that they don't need to, prior to the commencement of the Immigration Act, they will usually give like a removal direction, which will give rights to a right of appeal. But that has been abolished. They can easily pick people now without giving them the right of appeal. They can only appeal if there are articulate issues or human rights issues.
Wow. Interesting. So if there is no human rights issues, there is no appeal for an overstayer?
No, absolutely no.
So if an overstayer is refused and you picked, you've got to go?
You got to go. Now,
what would you say are the differences between the appeal right and the administrative review?
Good. Appeal right is now limited. For point-based applicants, they don't even have appeal rights anymore. What they have is administrative review. They will only be entitled to appeal rights if there are human rights claims or protection claims. For instance, if a student now, student visa's application is being refused, and the person is facing a threat of being persecuted if he or she is being returned back to his country, then that will give rise to a protection claim, which will give rise to an appeal right. Okay? But if that is missing, what you have is an administrative review. And the administrative, what it's all about is doing a case worker's, if there's a case worker's error, meaning that you're not going to have an oral hearing, your administrative review will only be dealt on papers.
Wow.
So that's the difference.
So the chances of someone, you know, coming through a case,
Yes,
by appeal right,
yes.
and administrative review, which
Yes.
one would you say is the better approach here?
It depends. Like I said, like I mentioned earlier, it depends on the individual circumstances.
Okay.
Okay. For point-based applicants, they don't have
No right of appeal.
except their human rights claims.
Okay.
Okay. For other applicants, for instance, the spouse of a British citizen,
Yeah.
or the mother of a British citizen, they will have right of appeal.
Okay.
But not full.
Okay.
Okay. If my advice would be for whoever that is not going to benefit from either the administrative review or the appeal right, is for them to go for a judicial review.
Okay.
That is going to the higher court.
Yeah.
And you can only take your matters to the judicial review if there are elements of human rights claims and the what's it called? Human rights protection claim as well.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Is there any appeal rights? You mentioned that, but I want us to touch on that properly again. Is there any appeal right for a point-based visa holder whose application has been refused?
The only option they have now is administrative review. They haven't got any appeal rights, unfortunately.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All this tier one.
They don't. If it's been refused now, that's it. What they're entitled to now is an administrative review.
Wow.
And the good thing about administrative review is that it will be dealt with within 28 days, compared to the appeal regime, whereby you can have close to 9 months before you be issued a date. So that's the good thing about it. The disadvantage about the administrative review is there's no oral hearing.
Okay.
Everything will be dealt on paper.
Okay. For an overstayer who's got appeal rights,
Yes.
what do you think is the possible advantage of this? Maybe is an overstayer who's put in several applications and is being refused over a period of years, and now is being granted an appeal right. And you know our people, they would say, don't bring up any points we've dealt with in your previous applications. What do you think are the chances of?
It depends on the merit of the case. It depends on the individual case.
Okay.
Definitely, they'll be given a right of appeal if there are articulate claims or human rights claims. But however, it depends on the circumstance of the case.
Okay.
What the judge wants to look for is, are there exceptional circumstances that will make it unreasonable for the applicant to be removed out of the country?
Okay.
So those are the key things that the judge will want to look at.
Okay.
Alternatively, is for the applicant to go for a judicial review.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I would. We've got to go on break soon. Text messages are coming in. What happens to? I'm interested in this issue of overstayers.
Yes.
There is this 7-year rule.
Yeah.
For kids born here.
Yeah.
What happens if a kid or a family is being refused application, or the kid is being refused application on the 7 years rule? The parents are here, even though they don't have their papers yet. Yeah. But the kid was born here and is 7 years, and they've applied under the 7-year rule, but been denied. What do you think is happening here?
Two things here, Esther. If the parent of the kid here now, the child that is over 7 years or 7 years old, if they have a visa, I mean an extant leave, as at the time they made the application, they will be given a right of appeal. Okay. Okay. But if they didn't have any visa as at the time they made the application, there won't be right of appeal. I need to let you understand that. Okay. If they make an application when their immigration status was precarious. Okay. In the sense that they don't have visa. They don't have any right of appeal. They don't. They won't have any right of appeal. Okay. So what they can then do is to go for a judicial review. Okay. So what if that is negative as well? Now, if that is negative, however, like I said earlier on, it depends on the individual case, in the sense that the judge will look at the best interest of that child. Of the kid, yeah. Okay? If it is in the best interest of that child to remain here in the country,
yeah.
all right, looking at several factors in the sense that they will look at how long the child has been here. Is the child schooling here? Are there medical issues? What is the circumstances back home, their country of origin? So the judge will look into issues like that.
Okay.
How has the child been able to establish roots in the United Kingdom? Those are the things the judge will look at before making his or her decision. So it depends on the merit of the case. So, but there's still hope for families that have got kids that are over 7 years. There's still hope for them, but however, they need to show that there are exceptional circumstances that it will make it unreasonable for the Secretary of State to remove them. The entire family.
What if they've gone for judicial review and yet they've been asked to leave?
If they've gone for judicial review and they are asked to leave, unfortunately, they will have to leave, except there are change of circumstances.
Okay.
That is when they can probably make a fresh application.
Okay, so they can make a fresh application.
Yes, they can make a fresh application.
They've got change of circumstances. And what do you think this change of circumstances
could be? Maybe an addition to the family.
Okay.
Because at times the Secretary of State want to look at how big is the family.
Okay.
Of course, they may see it as not unreasonable to ask the family of 4 or 5 to leave. Okay. Okay. So those are the things that the Home Office want to look at. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Someone sent a text saying, "Is mass migration a good or bad thing for the country? Why do you believe this? If it's yes."
It is a good thing for the country, mass immigration into it, because people coming into the UK, they're actually adding to the economy. People are working, paying their taxes. The thing is this, Esther, there is no way whereby immigration of people or migration of people can be stopped. People are coming in and out of the country. You need to go to Heathrow today. Go and see the crowd.
Wow.
Tourists are coming in, helping the economy. So I see it as a good thing to the UK economy. It's not a bad thing at all.
So why is the immigration law kind of very tight?
It is very,
especially at a time like this.
It is very tight in the sense that the UK government is trying to manage the migration. Hence why we have the Immigration Act 2014 in order to make the environment to be hostile for undocumented migrants. To be honest with you, Esther, the system still welcomes people. Okay. Because there are still categories of visas that allows people to come in, set up business, set up companies, and work. So it's not that the door is totally shut, no.
Interesting. Okay, so what is the new position of immigration law in regards to the removal of overstayers and illegal immigrants?
All right. Now,
because there is this recently, was it just last week?
Yeah.
The issue of
the woman.
The woman with the kid that they had to bring back to the country. So what will you say? What's the new immigration law in regards to removal?
The position of the Act, Immigration Act 2014, in terms of the removal of overstayers or illegal immigrants, prior to the commencement of that act, you will be notified that you are someone that is liable to be removed.
Wow.
Then
they'll give you a date.
Exactly. No, not that they will give you a date. You only be issued a date when you are being detained. That is when they will issue a ticket to go out of the country. Okay. Prior to the commencement of the act, you'll be notified. Okay. You'll be issued a form, someone that is liable to be detained and removed out of the country. Okay. Which will automatically give right to an appeal, whereby you go to the court and explain why it will be unreasonable for them to remove you. But that is not the case anymore. You can easily be picked, and overstay or illegal immigrants can easily be picked now and be removed out of the country. The only way whereby that removal can be stopped if there are human rights claims, in the sense that if you've got families here that are settled and British, if you've established roots here in the country, so they may consider that and cancel the removal.
Wow.
Alternatively, they will remove you and then ask you to appeal while outside. Just like
appeal from outside the country?
From outside the country. For the mother and the child you mentioned earlier, she had an human rights claim that was still being considered by the Secretary of State, but that wasn't concluded before the acts had to be removed.
So was it right for them to remove someone when their case is still ongoing?
No.
So that was a flaw on their part.
Yes. So that was why the court had to order that child and the mother, to be brought back to the UK. It is a good development.
It is.
It is a good
Absolutely.
development.
So no notification will be given anymore.
No notification will be given.
And that means an overstayer walking on the road, by the train station, shopping, can be picked. So the advice here... I was going to ask. I know it's difficult.
It is.
What would your advice be for an overstayer who's tried everything possible and yet the result is not positive yet?
The advice is this, Esther. Our advice is not to give up.
Okay.
So when it comes to immigration matters, there are both spiritual and physical aspect of it.
You believe?
I do.
Okay.
There are both spiritual and practical aspect of it. They need to pray more and take further steps.
Okay.
Okay?
When you say further steps, what do you mean?
In the sense that keep applying, because there is an opportunity whereby the Home Office can exercise its discretion.
Yeah, definitely.
There are applications which can be made outside the rules. So the fact that you do not meet the rules today doesn't mean your circumstances can't change tomorrow.
Okay.
So the key is keep trying.
So an overstayer can always make a new application.
Absolutely.
Okay, with change of circumstance.
Change of circumstances, yes, and just trust in God.
Okay.
Trust in God.
There is this issue of if you are an overstayer and you removed, you won't have access to returning to the country until after 10 years or so?
If you are being removed, you won't be able to come back to the UK till about 5 years. 5 years,
okay.
But if you voluntarily depart from the UK or you leave the UK on your own volition, you can come back within 1 year. So
will you advise an overstayer to voluntarily leave or to stay trying?
It depends. It depends. If the overstayer will have a better life back in his country, in his country, it will be advisable for such person to leave. Okay. But if the person has this conviction that this is where God wants
me to be,
then they should keep trying.
They should keep trying.
Yeah.
Interesting. We've got to go on a short break tonight, and when we return, our studio line will open. You'll be able to ask my Lenny colleague your questions tonight. But don't forget, for my first 3 callers, I've got free gift of free consultation for you on your immigration issues. Stay on the line and we'll be right back.
We are here only because of you. If questions in the heart have been a blessing, we would ask of you to please sow towards our ministry so we can keep doing what we do. Please support us. Our website address is www.questionsintheheart.com. Please click on the PayPal link. Telephone 0788 120 7952. As you give towards this work, we can reach more and liberate more. God bless you.
Expecting your calls tonight on your immigration matters, and don't forget my first recallers, the grace of having free consultation with my guest tonight, who is a very able immigration lawyer. I'll take your text messages now and take some few calls. And when your calls come through tonight, don't forget to log on to www.questionsandtheart.tv. Leave me with your details so that I can arrange an appointment for you with Mr. Daniel. Someone said an overstayer is an overstayer. How can you keep applying if they've clarified you as such? They would have a lot of restrictions already. So why would you ask an overstayer to keep applying?
Yes, an overstayer is an overstayer. What I said that whoever has overstayed shouldn't stop applying is if their circumstances change. Okay, for example now, someone today, single, overstayed, fortunately get married to a British citizen. Okay. Definitely she will have a British child. Yeah. So she's still an overstayer, yes. But however, when she applies for a visa, she will be able to regularize her stay.
Because she's got a kid.
Exactly. So circumstances will definitely change.
Okay.
So I'm not saying that every month you have to be applying to the Home Office. That's not what I'm trying to say. Watch your circumstances. If it has changed, apply.
Okay. Let me ask a question. You just mentioned this marriage issue. For an overstayer who's got, let's say, an EU partner, but they're not married yet. Yeah. Let's say the EU partner is the guy. Yeah. The overstayer is the lady. Yeah. I'm sure you know about proxy marriage. Yeah. What do you reckon here?
The UK immigration rules does not recognize proxy marriage. The proxy marriage may be recognizable back in the home country of that non-EU national, but however, is not recognizable here in the UK. So what that person can do is actually to stay put into like a cohabitation route, whereby they stay together they cohabit for 2 years, and they'll make an application based on that, rather than making an application based on a proxy marriage, which is bound to be refused.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So stay together for 2 years?
2 years, yes. Then you make an application.
And then make an application.
Yeah. And now that if they have a child, it makes the union to be genuine. Okay. Because there's a child in between them.
In between them. Yeah. Okay. So you reckon that's a better route instead of doing
the proxy.
The proxy is not recognized
in
the
not
UK.
Recognized. Yeah, it's not recognized in the UK. It will be refused.
It will be refused. Yeah. Okay. Someone said, what is the position of a family? Let's quickly take CHUKWUMA. Let's take CHUKWUMA's call before we take this text message. Good evening. Thanks for calling us tonight.
Yeah, good evening. May God bless you.
Amen. And you too.
I just want to find out from the lawyer, because I've been in the country for about October this year will be 10 years. But they did deny me leave to remain. I just want to know.
You've been here for over 10 years?
10 years by October this year.
By October. And you've been denied indefinite leave to remain?
Yes.
Okay. CHUKWUMA, apart from, Mr. Daniel will answer your question now, but apart from that, you've won for yourself tonight a free consultation with him.
Okay.
So log on to www.questionsandtheart.tv and then leave us with your message, and Mr. Daniel will get in touch with you. He would answer your call. You can put the phone down so that other callers can have their way through. It will be 10 years in the country very soon. It's been refused indefinite leave to remain. What do you reckon?
It will be 10 years in the UK very soon. And it's been refused.
Yeah, indefinite leave to remain.
Why did you apply before it clocks the anniversary of 10 years? You don't apply until you clock your anniversary. You are bound to be refused.
So if he now reapplies after 10, would they consider?
They may consider. It depends on when he's actually going to clock the 10 years. For instance, if he's going to clock the 10 years by October this year, and he applies now in April, definitely they're not going to give him a right of appeal. So what he's going to have is a administrative review, which is bound to fail because there's no case working error here. So what I would suggest...
So if that fails, what happens?
So in order for him not to become an overstayer, is probably for him to make another application in order to keep himself legal till he clocks that 10 years. Till he clocks
10. Okay. Someone said, what is the position of a family that has 2 kids born in the UK, but they are under 7 years and the parents' visa, first year, has been refused on renewal? Wow.
The parents' first visa has been refused?
Yeah, first tier visa has been refused on renewal.
Is that a tier 1 visa?
Yeah, tier 1.
Was refused?
Yeah.
On what basis was that refused?
Well, she didn't.
It depends on why the application was refused. So one needs to, the caller, whoever sent that message can ring back at the end of the show.
Okay, okay. You can call, you can ring now or call, get in touch after the show. Mr. Daniel will be able to clarify on that. Someone said, does refugee status can be removed? What English is that? Can a refugee be removed?
Yes, a refugee can be removed if the person has actually committed some offense or has got criminal records. The person is bound to be removed.
So a refugee,
can be removed.
Can be removed. How are illegal immigrants supposed to pay for the application process when they are unable to get good or well-paying jobs due to their situation? Someone said the line is not going through. I don't know if Chukwu is still holding up the line. Please, can you release your set wherever you are so that people can get through to the studio tonight? How are illegal immigrants supposed to pay for application when they can't work? They are not permitted to earn money. They have no resource to public funds. So where do they get money from?
That's a good question. There's an option for them to apply for a fee waiver to the Home Office. The Home Office will consider their case if they qualify for a fee waiver. Yes.
So if you are an overstayer or an illegal immigrant and you're not working, you're not meant to work anyway, and you don't have recourse to public funds, but you can ask for a fee waiver. You can ask for a fee waiver. I'm sure that answers your question. Well, someone would say, how do we go about the process of asking for a fee waiver?
Is to write to the Home Office. There are certain criteria that has to be met. So the Home Office will be the one to judge whether you qualify for it or not.
Okay, they write directly or go through a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay.
They write directly or go through a lawyer. Alternatives for them to go through a legal aid.
Go through a legal aid. Okay, would they grant legal aid
to be honest with you, Esther,
illegal immigrants?
Now the government is actually cutting down legal aid. Cutting down legal aid. And voluntary organizations will only take cases that have got merit. Not just any case.
Okay. Good evening, Ronke. Thanks for calling us tonight. Hello, Ronke.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thanks for calling.
Thank you. Good evening.
Speak on, please. We can hear you.
I would like to find out if it's possible for a visitor to... I would like to find out if it's possible for a visitor to... If it's possible for a visitor to get married to a British citizen while in the UK. Okay.
Mr. Daniel?
Well, it's actually possible, but the rule has changed now pertaining to getting married in the UK.
Okay.
This actually changed in March.
Okay.
So now, if the registrar could perceive that you are able to benefit from to have an immigration status from that union, they will need to contact the Home Office
Okay.
So the Home Office needs to give like a go-ahead before you are allowed.
Before they join them?
Exactly.
Wow.
Yes, before you are allowed. So it depends. It depends.
Okay.
You can be allowed and you may be rejected. It depends, because now the Home Office has a say in you getting married in the UK.
Now the Home Office has a say in you getting married in the UK.
Yes.
You might be allowed and you might not be. Thank you so much, Ronke. I hope that answers your your question. What is or could you explain the new Home Office position in regards to residential tenancies, NHS? You mentioned it the other time, but I think it's important we'll dwell more on it. NHS, driver's license, opening a bank account, and the likes.
Yeah. For people that are not...
1 minute. Okay. Good evening, Simon.
Good evening, Ms. Esther. I'm still waiting for my gift of last week.
Oh, okay, don't worry. We'll get it across to you. I told you to log on to www.questionsandahat.tv. You didn't leave me with your contact?
Yeah, I logged in. My it didn't go through.
Log in. It is there. www.questionsandahat.tv. Look for the contact us button. Click on it and leave us with your details. We'll sure get in touch with you.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, Simon. Excuse me? Hello?
Yeah, I just want to ask the lawyer a question.
Okay.
Yeah. You see, it's very difficult when somebody associated, for example, illegal immigrant, whatever it is, collected the money, paid for the lawyer. After paying for the lawyer, they have lost the case. They then go back to square one again. So I'm thinking maybe in the long run, one should think about if a lawyer wins a case, he takes
and then before you pay.
If you lose the case, I get back my money. Because it's like when you go to the shop, you pay, you get. If you don't pay, you don't get.
Okay. If you don't.
Like that. Because it's happening to get this £4,000 together and then pay for the lawyer. At the end of the day, the lawyer loses the case. And sometimes when some lawyers don't really prepare the case, it's just that at the end of the day, you know money, lose or win.
All right, Simon. Thank you so much for calling. I was going to answer that question because I know what it takes to become a lawyer. I'm going through the process at the moment, but I will let you answer him. He feels you take my money, you go for my case, you lose the case. Why am I paying you?
The success of a case, in a way, is down to the lawyer or the representative, but not in entirety. Don't forget the fact that, Mr. Simon, that the lawyer has taken his time to prepare, but it is the judge
who decides.
So he or she has actually collected money for his time.
So the lawyer's collected money for his time?
Absolutely.
Well, someone said to me last week, he said, even when the lawyer knows a case won't go through, he will still ask you to try because they want to make money.
No, apart from the fact that the lawyer wants to make money, you are duty bound professionally to represent whoever comes to you.
Exactly, exactly. Well, someone said, why wouldn't you just tell them point blank, don't waste your money, this case can't survive?
The thing is this, that person will go to another lawyer.
Who will take his money?
Who will take his money and
interesting. So before Simon's call came in, we were talking about the new Home Office position as regards residential tenancies, NHS, driver's license, and bank opening, account opening, and stores in the UK. You want to explain a bit more on that before we go tonight?
Yeah, for NHS, the position of the Immigration Act now is for people that are not settled in the country. What I mean by settlement is people that have got British citizenship, people that have indefinite leave to remain. Yeah. Those are exempted. Okay. Okay, and people coming on visitors visa that is less than 6 months, they're exempted. But for every other person, every other applicant, they have to contribute towards the NHS service, because what the government is saying now is that the UK government cannot be NHS to the entire world. So therefore, you need to contribute towards the NHS services.
So if you're a tier 1
migrants,
yes, and your renewal period is not near, you have to contribute to NHS?
No, you only pay when you need to make any application.
Okay.
Do you get the point now?
Okay.
You only pay when you're about to make your application.
Okay.
And in fact, you won't be able to submit the application without paying.
Wow.
So you make the payment and you'll be given a reference number,
Wow.
which you put in the application form.
Wow.
So the payment is called healthcare surcharge.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And you have to pay such sum for all the members
yeah.
of. Okay. And the driver's license one you mentioned, if you're an overstayer.
Of course, if you're an overstayer,
But you have valid driver's license.
Yeah.
You can't drive.
You can't drive anymore because the DVLA at some point will write to you to provide a visa, and if you don't have it, it will be revoked.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And account opening?
Account opening. Banks now, they want to see your identity. Not just driver's license, they want to see your immigration status.
Before they even open your
Before
account?
they open an account. Now, even if you have 1 month left on your visa, they may turn you down.
1 month left on your visa?
They may turn you down. So my advice would be, for whoever wants to set up a bank account, make sure you have enough time on your visa.
Before you apply. Interesting. Good evening, Olu.
Good evening, madam.
Thanks for calling.
Please, I just want to have a clarification regarding the 10 years anniversary that the gentleman talked about at that time, because I think that they say that you have 20 years in the UK before you can make an application for indefinite stay.
20 years in the UK?
Can you expatiate more on that 10 years anniversary, please?
10 years anniversary rule.
Okay.
10-year rule.
10-year rule, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Olu, thanks for calling.
There are several ways whereby you can qualify for indefinite leave to remain in the UK. The 10 years rule is this. If you're stayed in the UK legally for the period of 10 years, then you qualify for indefinite leave to remain.
If you're staying
legally in the UK.
Legally in the UK for 10 years?
Yeah, for the period of 10 years.
How can you stay in the UK legally for a period of 10 years?
For instance, a student can renew, switch to tier 1 and other, stay in the UK legally, not on visitor's visa. Visitor's visa is not counted towards it.
Okay.
So if you've been in the UK legally for 10 years, then you can get indefinite leave to remain. The caller mentioned 20 years. If you've stayed in the UK for 20 years, you only be entitled to 30 months visa, which is 2.5 years.
Okay.
So you now renew that 4 times. It is when
staying 20 years legally or illegally?
A combination. It could be illegal throughout or combination of both.
Okay.
But you are not entitled to indefinitely to remain until the 30th year. Meaning that after you've clocked the 20 years, you'll be issued a 2.5 years visa, which you now have to renew for 4 times.
Wow. Okay.
So it is after the 4th renewal that you'll be entitled to an indefinite leave to remain.
Okay.
Another way of attaining the indefinite leave to remain status is through the work route.
Work route,
That is tier 1 or combination of tier 1 and other point-based migrant visas, or a tier 2. That is after 5 years, provided you're able to meet the necessary requirement that you'll get your indefinite leave to remain.
Okay, so for an overstayer who won, say, this tier 1
tier 1 visa, which is closed now.
Which is closed now. Would such a one have to travel home to go on up? You know, normally when you have that kind of tier 1, you have to, your first 2 years is from your base. Would you have to travel home to go and get the visa, then return? Is an overstay already? If he leaves the country, he might not have the opportunity of coming back. What do you reckon?
If he leaves the country, I haven't overstayed, provided he hasn't overstayed for more than 28 days.
Oh, okay.
He can easily go outside the country, but not to come back in as a tier 1 migrant.
Okay.
He or she would need to switch into another category of visa.
When applying for return.
It could get a company here, a tier 2 company here in the UK, which that is willing to employ him,
okay.
then they can apply for him to come back into the UK on a tier 2 route, but not on a tier 1 route anymore.
Not on a tier 1 route anymore. Yeah. Okay. Let's take a little more text messages tonight. Someone said, what does an overstayer have to do to get a British citizen status without marriage?
An overstayer?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
How can an overstayer become a British citizen without getting married?
It's not compulsory for an overseer to be married or to get married in order to attain the British citizenship.
So what are the routes to
Okay, what the person needs to do is, the person must have stayed in the UK for 20 years.
Wow.
Okay, then after you stayed in the UK for 20 years, you get onto the visa. 2.5 years, you renew for 4 times. After the 30th year, okay, you'll be entitled to indefinite leave to remain. Then a year after the indefinite leave to remain, that is when you're entitled to your British visa, which means that you're looking at 31 years altogether.
31 years altogether.
Yeah.
Of not being able to work.
Yeah.
And of not having.
No, because by the time you have the visa, you'll be allowed to work.
No, but before then.
Before then, within the 20 years.
Within the 20 years, sir.
You won't be able to work, unfortunately.
You won't be able to work for 20 years. Yeah. Someone said, please, I want to know if a mother of 5 years plus expecting another baby seeking for asylum can be granted.
It can be granted depending on the circumstance of that person's case. In the sense that if the person is from a country that is troubled, maybe there are so many riots in the country and all that, or the person's life will be at risk if she's been returned back to a country of origin, yes, she has a good claim. She has a good human rights claim. Yeah.
She has a good human rights claim. Hi, Rose.
Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Thanks for calling.
Yes. My question is, what would somebody have to do if they were married to a EU national and the marriage broke down? EU national is nowhere to be found, hence difficult to get a divorce, and yet it's time to apply to put in for their indefinite leave to remain. What the lawyer suggests.
Okay, Rose, I quite didn't get her, but married to an EU national, the marriage broke down. What do you reckon?
And
maybe our status or his status is not being.
Yeah, if a non-EEA is married to an EU national and the marriage broke down, the first thing to do is to file in for a divorce.
Okay.
Okay. Because there are 3 ways in which a non-EEA can qualify for permanent residency.
Okay.
Number 1 is if the person is an ex-partner of an EEA national. Okay. Number 2, if the EEA person is deceased.
Okay.
Number 3, if the EEA is not where to be found. Okay. But in the case of in that particular case of the rules that they call her now, I would suggest the first thing to do is for her. I mean, well, maybe she's the one. Is for us to seek a divorce.
Okay.
Okay. Then after she has a decree absolute, she can then make an application, provided they've lived together here in the UK for 3 years.
For 3 years, okay.
Before she makes the application. So if she can satisfy that requirement of having been resident here for 3 years in that marriage, then she can make an application after she must have gotten a decree absolute. The issue here is this: the EEA national must be exercising his or her treaty right up until the marriage is finally dissolved. Because if she cannot produce evidence of such, the application will be refused.
When you say treaty rights, for the benefits of people watching, what do you mean?
It means working, paying taxes, and she has the evidence
that they were together.
Yeah. The tricky question may be, okay, if you are divorced, how will you get the payslip or the NI contribution of your ex-partner? The person can always apply to the court. The court will ask the Home Office to get the records from HMRC.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's the way to go about that one.
Okay, someone said, we've got to go tonight. If I commit a crime before my application, will my application be refused automatically?
It depends on the crime. has it been, I mean, I judge by a judge that is a crime? It depends. The application may be refused, but it depends on the crime.
The application may be refused,
but it depends
but
on the
it
crime.
depends on the crime.
Yeah, as the person served the sentence, how long is the crime? So those are the things that the Home Office want to see, because there is statute bar. There are lengths of time whereby you will have served the sentence before the application will be refused. So it's not automatic.
Okay. Oh God, we've got to go. Okay. Oh, look quickly. I've got 30 seconds for you.
Yeah, my question is that supposing maybe you marry EU national and you don't really married like your partner, stay together for how long you stay together before you can go on? Maybe something happened between you and everybody going on separate.
What then happens?
What's going to happen to you when you want
to
stay?
Okay, thanks, Olu.
You didn't get married, but you have kids together.
Okay. EU national, living together, not married. Something happened along the line. One left. What happens?
The person get a visa based on that cohabitation?
I don't think. Yeah, they are not legally married.
If they are not legally married and he or she got a visa based on that cohabitation, it will be difficult for the person. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a different scenario where they're actually married.
Okay.
Yeah, then you can see you're an ex-spouse of an EU citizen.
Our time is gone tonight and we've got to go. Thank you so much, Mr. Daniel, for coming on Questions in the Heart. Well, for those who've called me tonight, what you do is log on to www.questionsintheheart.tv. Leave me with your contact details, your phone number. I'll pass your information across to Mr. Daniel, the first 3 people, and then you get your free consultation. But for those who have called as well and would still want to consult, you're free to get in touch with Mr. Daniel. I think we had his number on the screen, and if you still leave me with your message, I would get him to give you a shout. God bless you. I see you next week. Good night.